What's going on, guys? Just to confirm that you can hear me and also see my screen, just drop a 1 in the chat box for me real quick. What's going on, Eric? Nice to see you again, man. And we'll go ahead and get started here right now. Alright, so what's going on, guys? Welcome to the weekly technicals video for July 29th. Looking at the upcoming news releases for this week, we have, to be honest, we have a lot of high impact news in terms of events that we don't want to be trading. So we have FOMC on Wednesday, and we also have NFP on Friday, as well as we start a new month on Wednesday. So in terms of trading opportunities, I think the best days for us in terms of trading this week will be Monday and Tuesday, because again, Wednesday we don't want to be trading with FOMC. Ideally, we want to be out of any trades before Wednesday London session, and Thursday there may be a potential trade, but we can watch it during London and see what we get. There's a lot of news for cable though, so we could get some crazy price action in that. But ideally, I want to be trading this week just Monday and Tuesday. So if we could find 20, 30, 40, 50 pips, whatever it is, between Monday and Tuesday, I'd like to be done trading after that for the week, and then just hold out until the following week, because I don't want to be present in the markets while we have FOMC, as well as, so we have FOMC and we have a new month starting that same day, right? And then the next day we have Thursday, a ton of GBP news, and then Friday we go into NFP. So, just forecasting 1 week ahead, looking at next week, August 5th through August 10th. Looks a little better because we don't have any news events like this. So NFP and FOMC are the two main news events or news drivers that we don't want to be trading during the markets while those news events are going on, or during that day at all, really. So that's why we're going to pretty much keep our trading Monday, Tuesday, and maybe Thursday, but ideally just Monday and Tuesday for this week. So I strongly advise you guys, don't, if there's no signals coming through or anything, from Wednesday to the end of the week, don't overtrade. Don't go in trying to take a bunch of trades, because we have a lot of uncertainty in the markets. And as soon as we get into the charts, you guys will be able to see how that reflects in price action. So if we look at dollar index here, this is a weekly time frame that I'm using, and look at this price action that we have in here, right? We just have a consolidation for several weeks now, and we've come up and hit this ICT bearish order block at 95.65, and that's what we mentioned last week, and we thought that we would see some rejection and potential selling off of that, and potentially go for this 93.70 level, and then these equal lows at 93.20. So initially the market did open and trade a bit lower, but we didn't get a lower low from here. So potentially they could be forming a higher low here, and they could take dollar index higher. So with where current price action is at right now, just to be 100% transparent with you guys, I don't necessarily know what their next move is going to be. So I don't know whether they're going to take it higher or whether they're going to take it lower. But that's one of the things that comes with trading. You're not always going to know what they're going to do, and the thing that you have to pretty much be aware of is, if you don't know what the market is going to do, then you shouldn't be trading, right? So we have to let the market show us what they're going to do. And if you see something that I don't see, let me know. But ideally, this is pretty much a week that I'm not going to be too active in the markets. There may only be one, maybe two signals that come through, but trading is going to be very minimal. Risk is going to be very, very low. There's too many factors that are not lining up, right? So the market's in a consolidation. We have a lot of high impact news events, such as FOMC and NFP. We're at the end of a month, starting a new month on the same day of FOMC. So there's a lot of different things. We're closing out, the summer months. So there's just a lot of reasons that we don't want to be, putting on a ton of risk, because the markets are getting, they're pretty much ending this like shitty portion, and they're about to go into a portion where the markets get a lot of volatility. So we'll see, bigger trending moves, and those trending moves, that could take us back up here, or that could take us, down below here. Whichever way they go, it doesn't matter, but we need them to show us, what way are they going to go. So what do I mean by all that? Basically, and if we're still in this consolidation, I don't know what they're going to do next. Okay, so in order for me to have a clear idea of where they're going to go and what they're likely to do, I need to see them, for bullish scenarios, I need to see them get back above 95.65. So that's last week's high, and that will take us back above this ICT bearish order block level. And if we get above that, then I think we're going to go potentially retest this ICT bearish order block here at 97 big figure. So we'll put that on our charts now. And we're going to make that red because we make all of our resistance levels red. And what did I say that level was? 97 big figure. All right. Cool. So that's going to be our first target if we do get above that 95.65 level. And then our next target will be this ICT bearish order block here, which comes in at 98.50. Perfect. And we'll extend that out a bit. All right. So the levels that we're going to be looking for are 97 big figure and 98.50. If we get back above 95.65. Okay. So if we hold this high and we start trading lower and we take out this low here at 93.70, then I'm more inclined to believe that they're going to take it below 93.20 and ultimately back down to retest this high at 90 big figure. Only if they get below this low though. So until they do one of these two things, so they either have to do, where's my little drawing tool? So they either have to do this, they either have to get above this level, retest it, and then continue here to those levels, or they have to break below this low, retest that, break lower, potentially retest that, and then continue down here. And excuse this like poor drawing pen thing, but I don't know of a better way to like draw all my charts like that I can quickly erase. But anyways, these are the two scenarios that we want to look for. So for bullish, 95.65 will be our level that we want to see them get above. Retest that or some sort of ICT bullish order block in this area, and then continue to 97 big figure, then 98.50. If they trade lower, we want to see them take out this low at 93.70, retest that level as resistance, which would be old support, now turn resistance if we get below it. Then if they do that, then we're going to expect 93.20 would be the next objective. So say we sell it here and target 93.20, that'd be a 50 pip setup, just between this. So how that would transfer over would be, during the sell-off of dollar index coming, retesting 93.70 and going below 93.20, there could be a potential buy opportunity for 50 or so pips in the majors, and we'll take that based off of what we see here in the dollar index. But we need one of these scenarios to unfold first, otherwise they're just going to hold this consolidation. And it's going to be just like last week, where they're just going to take people's money and they're going to run it above stops, run above an old high, run below an old low, take out the stops, and then push back in the consolidation or the range. All right, so have these levels on your charts: 95.65, this high, and then 93.70. because those are the two levels that I'm going to be watching this week. Once we get above or below those levels, then I'll have a clearer idea of what we're going to do in terms of bullishness or bearishness for dollar index. So we'll drop down to a daily time frame here, and just so you guys can see, you can really see the consolidation here a lot clearer. So I mean, just looking at this, you know, it's hard to tell what they're going to do next, right? That's why we need them to either get above this 95.65 or below this 93.70 level. It'd be much clearer what they're going to do once that happens, because if you look at it here, right, what have they done? They formed a low, a high, lower high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So what's next? Potential higher high, right? Well, then if you look here, what do we have? High, low. Could this be a potential lower high? Right? So until we get out of this consolidation, whether that be above it or below it, we don't know what they're going to do next. Right? So personally, just based off of Thursday's candle here, how bullish it was and how it showed quick rejection and didn't want to come back below this low, I'm leaning more to believing that they're going to want to go back above the 95.65 level. So if they do that, you know, we're already looking for the 97 big figure and then the 98.50 levels, the ones that we just marked on the weekly time frame. So just to be honest, you know, I don't know 100% what they're going to do, but I'm more inclined to believe now, just based off of this price action we've had in here, that they're going to take it higher. But again, that's why I'm not really going to be taking any trades until we get below here or above the 95.65, because at that point I would have a much clearer trade setup, in my opinion, right? So just based off of this, though, I do think that it looks to me like they want to take it higher, at least above 95.65 again. I just have such a hard time trusting equal lows in the market anytime that they're here. So these equal lows are my bearish target if we do start trading lower and get below this 93.70. But just based off where we're at now, it personally to me looks like we're going to trade a little bit higher with dollar index. So let's go ahead and we'll move over to euro dollar now, and we'll start with the weekly time frame again. And basically inverse of what we've seen in dollar index, right? We've just got this consolidation here, really ugly. You know, no clear setups in here, no clear ICT bullish or bearish order blocks that we could use for support or resistance. So, you know, what does that mean? What can we expect going forward with euro dollar? Well, if we look at dollar index, we have an unclear read, right? We don't know whether to be bullish or bearish. So when we're looking at euro dollar, it's basically the same thing, right? It doesn't look clear, right? So if you guys can tell, let me know in the comments, does this look bullish or bearish to you? Because for me, I don't have a clear read on this. And it's because we're just stuck in this consolidation, right? We're trapped below these equal lows and above this high here. So until we get either a move below this low here, which is not last week, but the previous week, so July 16th, the start of that week, that low. So we'll mark that out. If we get back below this, which the low comes in at 1575, then I think we're going to go for those equal lows at 15 big figure, which is right here, these equal lows. You'll be able to see them once we move down to a daily time frame. So this 1575 level, the low from 2 weeks ago, I'm marking that level out because that's the one, where did that? I'm marking this low out because there is liquidity resting below here, so people have their stop losses built below here. So say they were buying here and then they made some profit on this move, and then they trailed their stop loss to this low. So the market will likely want to run this low if it's going to trade lower. And if that's the case, then we'll look for 1.15 big figure, which would provide us about 75, 80 pips worth of a trading opportunity with that. Now, if we get back above this high here, coming in at, what is this high coming at? 1790. So let's mark that out. Alright, I keep copying this, but it's like not. Okay. So we're just going to have to draw a new one. So 1790 will be our bullish level that we're going to be watching. So if the market trades above 1790, then we have to assume that it's going to want to go back for these 1840 equal highs. Okay, and we'll move to a daily because it's a little bit clearer for you guys to be able to see. So what I'm saying is we have these equal lows at 1.15 big figure, and the low that I just drew out was here, but it did not go on my charts. So let me put this daily, and let me make sure this is daily. Alright, perfect. So now if we look at it, we have these equal lows at 1.15 big figure. So this is the low from 2 weeks ago at 1.1575. So what I'm saying is if we get below this, we have to assume that they're going to take price lower, and we're going to go for these equal lows at 1.15 big figure. Now, if we get back above this level here, which is 1790, then they're likely going to take it above these equal highs here at 1840 to 1850. Okay, really, even if we get back above this candle here at 1750, I'm pretty confident that they would want to go back above 1850. So we'll go ahead and just mark that level out really quickly. Alright, so this high comes in at 1750. Oh, it's a little too high. What is this high coming at? 1743, so we're going to use 1740. So if we get back above 1740, which is this candle's high, which is a ICT bearish order block, so once this candle closed below it, it became an ICT bearish order block. So think about what could happen here. They could use this candle's low to the open as resistance, take it below 1575, retest that level, and then take it below 1.15 big figure. So if you just had a hard time following what I just said there, let's go ahead and draw it out what it would look like. So this is an ICT bearish order block. So this is kind of how I think about the markets, right? This is like an idea that like goes through my head whenever I look at the price action. So I see this ICT bearish order block right here. So I'm thinking, okay, well, this daily candle opened and we didn't have a lot of volatility, so they could potentially trade up, retest this level here. Once they hit that level, that could provide enough resistance to then trade below 1575. Once we get below 1575, so I'm not going to be taking a sell based off of this because it's not clear, right? It could be an ICT bearish order block or it couldn't. So it could easily come back above here. So I'm not going to, and it's unclear because we're in this consolidation. So if we do find resistance here and get below this, then I know, okay, they use this ICT bearish order block as resistance, and more than likely price will want to trade below these equal lows because there's a lot of liquidity resting below there. So as the market trades below 1575, we can anticipate a retest of that level, and then we can look for our selling opportunity there, and we can look for 1.15 big figure, and that would provide us on this move here from selling it here to this, to take out these equal lows. That could provide us about anywhere from 80 to 100 pips potential trade, right? So why would we be focused on trying to sell it here? You know, there's no reason to say, oh, we want to sell it up here so we can get catch this many more pips or whatever. But at the end of the day, the market isn't clear in here, so we have to let it confirm to us what it's going to do first. So especially if you're a new trader, it's definitely annoying to have to wait, but you have to let the markets unfold, right? You have to be patient. This is an industry where it's very predictable, but if you are impatient, then you're going to lose a lot of money. So, to avoid that, what you need to do is have these ideas about the market and let it confirm to you what it's going to do before you actually take action. So I have this idea that this could be an ICT bearish order block, and I'm anticipating potential resistance. So if the market does show me resistance there, we get below here, then I know, okay, I can confidently sell it here because they're not going to want to come below this low and then bring it all the way back up here, in my opinion. If they're already this close to the 1500 equal lows, I think they're going to retest this level and then take it there. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and keep this here because so if it unfolds. But keep in mind, if we do get above 1740, then we have to look for 18 big figure and then 1850. Okay, this high here and then these equal highs back here. All right, so let's move over to GBP USD. Give me 1 second. Let me grab a sip of water. Alright, so looking at GBP USD, let's start with a weekly time frame with this one as well. Now, in terms of trading opportunities, if any of the pairs that we've went over so far, well, none of them so far that we've went over have been clear, in my opinion. This one it seems to be a little clearer, in my opinion. So looking at it, what I see is, again, this is a weekly time frame. So the market traded below these equal lows, which is at 1.30 big figure level. So 1.30000, and we've traded below that. We initially poked below at one time here, and then we finally really cleared out the liquidity below there. So last week I was thinking, okay, since we've done that, and also this low came in at a daily ICT bullish order block, so I'll show you guys that really quickly. So we had this ICT bullish order block right here, this down candle before this big push up. If you look at that same candle right here, this low came in at this ICT bullish order block, also clearing out these equal lows. So last week I was anticipating bullishness, right? Continued bullishness. And we did get a little bit of bullishness, but we really didn't have much in terms of like opportunity. But the market traded into this level, and that was an ICT bullish order block, so I was anticipating continued higher prices. But now looking at this on a weekly time frame, what I'm thinking is with this bullish dollar index idea that I have, potentially thinking that dollar index is going to want to maybe push back above 95.65 again, unless we clear out the 93.70 level. To me, I see this as high, low, broken structure here, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So what am I expecting? Well, I don't necessarily see them wanting to come back above this. Like looking at this from a weekly perspective, right? To me, it looks like the next level of liquidity would be below this low here, and then ultimately this low here at 1.2775. So again, this is going to need some real strength in dollar index to get us that low here on cable. But overall, out of the pairs that we've looked at so far, this is the only one that looks clearer than the others. So this low comes in at 29.60. Okay, I don't know if you guys feel like I say clearer really weird, but I feel like I do say clearer. I don't know, I feel like it sounds weird every time I say it, and I feel like I've really overused that word in this live session. So back to the charts. Out of all the pairs, this does look the clearest to me. So I think we're going to push below this 29.50 level. And if we get below that, then I think for sure our next level will be this 27, what is it, 27.80? Yeah, 27.75, 27.80 level. So this is what I'm going to be watching out for on cable. And just to kind of draw it out for you guys, just basically look for a candle to close below here, and then we'll look for a retest of that. And this is a weekly time frame, so this could be a little bit longer term. It may not happen right away, and that's fine, but this is what we have to anticipate, right? So on a lower time frame, if there's a clear opportunity and the market does look weaker, and then it's trading into some sort of resistance, then we can sell it with this as our first target at 29.50, and then if we break below that, then this could be another potential opportunity. So it doesn't mean this isn't one that I think we have to wait for it to get below here to confirm. We just have to use the lower time frame for potential setups, and I think this will be our likely next target, in my opinion. But if we do start trading back above last week's high, which comes in at 32.13, so you can use the 32.10 level. If we get back above 32.10, then we have to anticipate higher prices, and we're going to look for a run on this high here, ultimately this high back here, and then trade back up into this low, which would retest structure. So they broke structure here and never retested that. So if we do get some strength in here and we start pushing above last week's high, then and we continue above these highs here, then I think we're going to retest this level here at 1.37 big figure. So let me just draw this high on my chart right here, and this high comes in at 33.62, so we'll use 33.60. All right, cool. So those are going to be the next bullish objectives that we're looking for, and then of course we do have last week's high, so we can just go ahead and mark that out as well, and we'll make that a different color so it's pretty recognizable whenever we're looking at it on our charts. So what color can we make this? We'll do orange. Alright, so if the market gets above the orange line, then we have to anticipate higher prices, and we'll look for a run on this high, which comes in at 33.60, and then this high back here coming in at 34.70 to 34.75, and then potentially retest this low at 37 big figure. So I'll just leave this on here for now. So if we look at daily time frame, oh no, I don't want to leave that on there, it's too ugly. Just gotta clean this up a bit. Oh, I'm just gonna delete this one, okay, because we already know it retested this ICT bullish order block over here, and we did get bullish price action off of it, but now this is a level of liquidity if they start pushing it lower. So let me just delete whatever that is too. So if we look at this on a daily, you can see it a little clearer. Here I go again with the clears. So high, low, lower high, lower low, potential lower high here, and then continued selling below this 2960 level, right? So looking at this daily time frame, we have this up candle, then we have a big bearish down candle. What does this become? ICT bearish order block, right? So if we trade up into this, retest it, and sell off, well, this could provide us a selling opportunity. Okay, so we'll mark out this, and this will be red. What does this low come in at? 31.33. So we'll just use 31.30. And if the market trades up into 31.30 and we see bearish price action, so we see lower lows and lower highs, then at that point we can anticipate lower prices, and we'll look for this 2960 level as a target for the market to trade lower. So I just wanted to talk about this stuff real quick too. So we mapped out this stuff here, this 4-hour support and then retest of structure. I believe this was, we marked it out last week, yeah. And I said the low of the week could potentially form here, or the low of the week could potentially form here. Now the reason I use those levels is because of what? Well, they were 4-hour levels, right? They were higher time frame levels on the charts. So we had a 4-hour ICT bullish order block here. The market traded up and broke structure, breaking above this high. So I said, well, there's two things that they're going to do. They're either going to retest this high because it's old resistance, traded above it, now becomes support. Or they're going to trade below it and recapitalize this and trade higher from there. So notice the market initially traded into it right away. I think it did on Tuesday, I believe it was. Is that the 23rd? It was early in the week, I know that. Yeah, it was Monday. So traded into it right away on Monday. And oh, I'm sorry, this is it here. Okay, yeah, so we traded into it initially, and there was a low that was formed. Then the market took out that low, so it basically, this was a turtle soup setup right here. The market traded below this old low that was right here. Market traded below it, buying opportunity, and then it pushed higher. So I just wanted to kind of illustrate, like, you know, using these higher time frame levels, you can pretty much predict like where the market is going to have a turning point, especially if you've had them prove that they're going to go higher or lower, right? So we went into last week already seeing this break in structure. So like, for example, it looked like this, right? So we've seen the market, you know, that broke above this level here, this old high, and what do we do at that point, right? We mark out our support and resistance levels. So we know that there's resistance above here if the market trades into these levels, and we know there's support below the market here at this level and also at this level. So which one will it trade into? We have no idea. We just have to wait, right? So that's where patience comes in. So basically we just wait. Shit, how do I? Okay, so we wait. All right, that was a little fast. Okay, well, I don't really know what I'm doing with all that, but so anyways, the market trades into it, and you could see that initially we formed that low, but after that we traded below that low. So anyone that bought it here, they cleared them out and then they took it higher. So you always have to anticipate that one last stop run before they push price higher, and that's what we had here. It did end up being the low of the week, and the market did trade higher from there. Ultimately, I did not see the targets achieved that I wanted to achieve. What is going on? How do I get rid of this? Okay. So ultimately, I did not see the levels that I was looking for, because I was looking for this 3220 level, and the high came in at 3213. So we're about 7 pips off from that. But ideally, I was looking for 3220 to 3230. But nonetheless, I mean, good opportunity from this low to that high. in terms of a trading opportunity. But now looking at the market, we're back at that level again, right? So again, from a higher time frame, looking at it on a weekly, it looks like it wants to go lower. It'll be interesting to see if we find some support at this 4-hour ICT bullish order block though, which comes in at 30.40, so 1.3040. So have that level on your charts because that could be a potential buying opportunity. But if the market just trades right through that, then we have to anticipate the run on the 29.60 level. So I am going to I'm gonna hide all this because we don't really need this on our charts anymore, and we'll just keep this because so you guys can know. And yep, that's it for this. So again, just to kind of go over everything quickly, if we get back above this is a weekly time frame again. So if we get back above last week's high, which comes in here at 32.13, if we get back above that, we have to anticipate a run on the liquidity above the market. So where did this one go? Meaning we have to anticipate a run above this level here, which comes in at 32.92. So 32.90, and I'm pretty sure I've already marked this level up, I just don't know where it went. So 32.90, and then this high here, which comes in at 33.60. Only if we get back above 32.13 though. So 32.10 is really the level that you could be using. But once we get back above that, then we have to anticipate a run higher to these levels here, and then ultimately this high back here. But as long as we stay below this ICT bearish order block here, then I'm thinking we're going to go for 29.60. Alright, so looking at dollar yen now, we'll start with a weekly time frame. Now, if we look at this one, we had this strong push up, and then now we're retesting that level, right? So honestly, I'd like to see them trade higher from here. In dollar yen, there's a lot of liquidity that's built up above the market here between this 114 to 115 level. So you can see that the market just consolidated in this area for a while, and anybody that sold this market, they have their stops resting above these highs in here. So with this nice push up that we've had, now that we're retesting this consolidation here, which is also an ICT bullish order block, personally I'd like to see them trade higher from here. And you know, this could be like an early telltale sign of strength in the dollar index. So that's just, you know, this could be a year where, you know, that bearish seasonal tendency that we typically have for dollar index, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to unfold. And this year could be, you know, that could be a scenario that we get. So with this, if we get below this candle's low, really we could just use this. We can use this low here because this is the most recent swing low point. So the low comes in at 109.367. So we'll mark that out really quickly. 109.367. Alright, so if we get below that, then I think we're going to go for this level here at 107.20. But if we stay, like, so if we just retest this level here, I think we're going to push back above this high and then ultimately above these highs here. So mainly I could just draw a line across like this. Alright, so I'm using the lowest high point, and that's just to, you know, because I don't care if it comes all the way up here to 114.69. if I get out here at 114.20, you know, I'm happy to give up those 40 pips. I don't need the full move, but I want to use this high here just because, again, it's the lowest objective, and you know, the market has already traded through it here and also traded through it here. So I would anticipate a run above this high, but just to be safe, I'm just going to use the lowest high here. And even I could just use these. So I don't even necessarily have to do that. I could just use these here. So 113.75 again. So I don't care if it goes to, you know, 114 and I got out at 113.75. It doesn't matter. It's 25 pips. So, but the point is, if we get on board, you know, say there's a buying opportunity from here, that's 300 pips away. So does it really matter if we catch 310 pips or 330 pips? So I'm going to move down to a daily time frame now. And you can see it a little bit clearer here on the daily. So we have these series of down candles, and then we have the strong push up here, breaking market structure on a daily time frame, making a higher high. So, you know, think about this. We're always looking for breaking market structures on a 1 hour and all that stuff, and that's a lower time frame, right? But when you look at this, you see a breaking market structure on a daily time frame, right? So we were trading lower here. Okay. Market gets above this level, above this high. We should see support here if it's going to go higher. Now, we don't know, is it going to go higher or is it going to go lower until it proves it to us, right? But looking at this now, I mean, look at how the market is respecting, the bodies of the candles are respecting these down candles here. Okay, so we can break this down and go even lower to just get a little bit more clarity. And look at it here on a 4 hour. So the market trades into the level, pushes up. What's happened now? It's traded back down into a 4 hour ICT bullish order block, right? Also forming a higher low point. So what would we anticipate from here? A potential higher high, right? Where could we go? Well, above these highs here, above this high, we have an ICT bearish order block here that comes in at 112.20, right? So these are all target levels that we could be looking for. And just that there is 120 pips to 112.20. So personally, I think that we could see higher prices here in dollar yen. So this, I think we actually had, yeah, so we have yen like rate announcement tomorrow, so we probably will see a lot of volatility in this. Now that isn't necessarily something that I want to take part in, like trading during that specific thing, but maybe right after the fact or something like that, there may be a potential trade set up for us, and we'll hop on board dollar yen for a potential move up into this level here, and even maybe a run on these highs back here. So just to kind of simplify that, I am more on the bullish side of dollar yen, at least up into this 112.20 level, and then they can take it lower from there, but I'm anticipating a move higher up into 112.20 minimum. And if we get below this this low here at what is this low coming at? 110.27, so 110.30. If we get below 110.30, then I think we're going to go lower from there and clear out the liquidity below this 109.40 level. So let me just mark out this low, which was 110.30. Got it. All right. So now that we've pretty much got our levels marked out for this, you know, just going into the week, I'll just be watching it on an hourly time frame. So like we have that news tomorrow. I just want to see, like, you know, can we get a break above this high? I just want to see this market form a higher high, and then if we do that, then all I have to do is wait for the market to trade back into support, and then at that point I can buy it and look for my targets. So what that would look like would just be a big bullish move above here, retest that level or some level of support in this general area, and then find support there and trade up into that 112.20 level. So that'd be about 100 pips or so if we can get this. But we need the move above here first, right? If we're down here, like, yes, this could hold as support, but it may not. So getting above here will confirm that, buy the retest, and then look for higher prices from there. All right, so let me just delete this now. And we can briefly talk about dollar CAD. I don't really like this pair. Lately at least, but we've now traded below. Well, let me start with the weekly. Well, the weekly isn't really too clear. Yeah, we're just gonna use it daily. Alright, so looking at it on a daily, we have this high here, then the market trades lower, we push up, clear out all the highs in here into this ICT bearish order block, this series of up candles here, and then found resistance and sold off. So initially we created this down candle, this became an ICT bearish order block, we've traded back into that, found resistance, sold off, making a lower low below the 1.3065 level. Now we're retesting that level here. So we outlined it, it was either last week or sometime during the week, we outlined if we get below that, a retest of that level should hold as resistance and we should see continuation lower. So if we are going to get lower prices in dollar CAD, this is what I would expect, to find resistance here and sell off. If they do not, then we do have this ICT bearish order block low that comes in at 131. 3110. 13110, and that will be the next resistance level that the market could find resistance at if it does not hold this level here as resistance. So this is why I'm waiting until I take any trades, because like notice the ideas that I'm having, right? I have a potential bullish idea on dollar yen, but a potential bearish idea on dollar CAD, and then a mixed bullish / bearish idea for dollar index itself. So when we see this and looking at euro dollar, we have a mixed bullish / bearish idea, and then looking at GBP USD, we have a bearish idea. So everything's all over the place, right? Things aren't moving in sync. And if you guys have been with me long enough to know that when the market is out of sync, we don't want to be trading. If you didn't know that, then that should be something that you write down and remember, because anytime that the markets are not trading in sync, so what I mean by that is if euro dollar is not moving inversely of the dollar index and GBP USD is not moving inversely of the dollar index, and dollar yen isn't moving in sync with the dollar index, if all these things aren't happening, then we have to wait until the market basically corrects itself and gets in sync, right? And they move together, and then it makes it a lot easier for us to predict what they'll do next. So if we do find resistance here, expecting continuation on dollar CAD to the 29.20 to 29 big figure levels, but ultimately targeting this little pocket of liquidity below these lows, which comes in at the 27.50 level. So look for that longer term if we do continue lower, but most likely I'm going to be staying away from this pair. But if we do find resistance here, anticipate lower prices. If we trade higher, anticipate this level here to be the next point of resistance. And if that's the case, then we'll look for lower prices from there. So the last one we'll talk about is Euro GBP, and this is going to be really quickly, just because we just look at this to kind of like get our directional ideas. And looking at this on a weekly basis, we've had, not last week, but the previous week, we had a really strong bullish week. Last week, we've traded lower, basically retesting support levels. So here we have these series of down candles, which comes in as an ICT bullish order block. Traded into that, formed this wick here, and popped up a little bit, but not really too much, not really anything significant. But I think we're going to continue higher with this personally, or we're just going to stay in this consolidation that we've been in for like a year now, or however long it's been. But yeah, so in terms of Euro GBP like directional analysis, I'm more likely to believe that they're going to take this higher to start making higher highs, versus hold it in a consolidation or take it lower. But those are potential scenarios as well. But if we do hold this as support, which we have been so far, if we look on a lower time frame, so we look at this 60-minute chart here, the market has been consolidating around that level. We've traded down lower, clearing out any liquidity, and immediately pushed up. Anytime you see this type of like pattern, so like the market drops low, clears it, what it's doing is clearing out liquidity, and then you see it push back above it, and then it holds that level. Typically that is a significant or longer term low when this happens, and you can see the market formed a low, a high, higher low, and higher high now. So we could be looking for higher prices on Euro GBP. I'm more likely to believe that we're going to continue higher on this versus consolidate or get lower prices. So that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the weekly technicals video. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording right now, and then we'll move over into the question portion. So just give me 1 second, and I'll go through the chat and answer any questions that you guys have. So make sure if you do, post any questions in the chat box right now, and I'll answer them in just a second.